Hello everyone and welcome to the 13th episode of the Top 5 Weekly. Now, in this series, each week we look at the most popular workshop creations on Steam. We analyze each one of the submissions, we discover their features, and finally we test them out in the world of Stormworks. Now, if you're enjoying these videos, comment below and anyone else you'd like to see any of my future videos. While you're there, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and remember to click the little bell icon to be notified of my upcoming content as soon as it gets posted. So with that all said, let's get straight into it and get started with the first creation. So to kick things off this week, we're going to start with the first creation, which is going to be the Douglas DC3 Alpine Advance. This is done by a content creator called Sir Murtak. You guys know his creations already. He's been a couple of the episodes. Now, what we have in front of us is going to be his humble attempt of actually making a DC3 here in Stormworks. He said that it's going to be about 95% on scale to the original. Now, this airplane itself obviously was a DC3 converted into an actual World War II plane, and then what he said is actually gone ahead and reconverted it into a civilian plane. Now, features of this, says it's got an 8,000 litre fuel tank inside, actually 3 tanks inside its actual aircraft itself. It's got a top speed of about 150 knots, a whole bunch of other different things. It's got quite a long startup procedure, so we'll probably have to go through that when we're actually testing it out. But with that all said, let's go ahead and see how it works in Stormworks. So starting off, you can see the plane looks really nice. Obviously the actual stance of it looks really good. Obviously a little bit lower in the rear in comparison to the front. Everything looks really quite nice. Overall, you can see he's gone ahead and done quite a lot of plane blocks going everywhere. The actual engine blades are quite nice also. Now moving along there, all the detailing is here, guys. Everything that you possibly need. I think if we jump up onto here and see if we can try and get up, let's see again if we can get up there. Gonna go. You can see here there is the fuel refilling over there, which is quite nice on top of the wings. I can't get up there right this very minute. Along with that, a couple of paint blocks here and there going throughout the actual plane itself. Pretty much exactly the same on either side. Nothing special. He has a door here that seems to open. You can actually open it fully up into a huge compartment, or you can actually just do the passenger door, which is just this little section here, which is pretty cool just in case you need to get extra cargo or anything inside here. Now moving in, let's go ahead and close this door and see if we can get a light on. I know there is a light switch. There we go, perfect. You can see we have some type of like compartment area here or storage area. Really nice detail, guys. You guys can see that. It looks absolutely spectacular. An axe painted in there behind the window. Some parachutes just in case. Obviously, you ever need parachutes, we always need those, especially on planes these days. Some nice more detailing here for the cabin area, and then we also have the old school little navigator seat. Obviously, this is here from the version of the World War II, which is pretty cool, which has been brought over. A whole bunch of just some switch boxes here, obviously with the battery backup being disabled. And we also have the co-pilot and then the main pilot seat here. I don't know if this is anything behind you, a small keypad, I'm not sure what that is. I don't think it does anything. And then as far as the controls are concerned, it seems like we have quite a few here. All the lights here on that side, and then we also have right magneto and left magneto. The left and right fuel tanks, lock tail wheel, probably want that on. Parking brake, we also have a couple of RPS things over here, altitude temperatures, and then air speeds and vertical speeds. So there is quite a long little startup procedure for this. I more or less know what it is, so I'm going to try and get done through it. So we're going to hit the mixture up, we're going to hit the left magneto and right magneto on. With that, we're going to also go ahead and get that to about there, and then we're going to get this started up. Once we have that, apparently we just go and increase both of these at the same time. And we're going to continue doing that. Fantastic. And then we just need to go ahead and get the parking brake off. And let's see if we can get this thing actually airborne. We should be able to. I don't see why. The plane looks really nice. As I said, the stance of it just looks good. And just like that, we have managed to get it off the ground and flying. Now, got that all done. We need to get rid of, see if that makes a difference. Perfect. We seem to be going okay now. Where is the gears? There must be. I know there is a way to get rid of these gears. I just don't know where it is. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of the gears. Fantastic. And there we go. You can see the gears are now gone. And we are flying. So overall, yeah, really nice little plane, guys. It's pretty pretty sturdy. As you guys can see here, we are turning really nicely. Along with that, I can see this being a nice little long range plane for a couple of missions maybe. But yeah, overall just a really nice plane. It flies really well, looks amazing as always. So let's go ahead and move on to the next creation. So moving on to the next creation of the episode, we have the J29 Saab Tonman. This is done by a content creator called Gobson. Now, if I'm correct, this is his first creation here on the top 5. Now, this is his attempt of a recreation of a actual Swedish aircraft, obviously the J29 itself. Now, the plane itself has obviously been developed in the late 40s. It was in service until 1972 as per his description. It looks pretty cool, but as always, what we're going to do is get it out into Stormworks, fly around with it, and see how it all works. So let's get straight into it. So starting off, you guys can see this is a very small little plane here. Not really much to talk about, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how he's managed to fit everything in, do all the mechanics here. But you see we have a couple of paint blocks here and there, nothing too special. Obviously this being such a small little plane. And yeah, pretty much on either side we also have the refueling just over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get inside it just by jumping up here, and we're in the passenger seat. As you can see, not really much on the control side. If we go ahead and check on our hot source controls, we have thrust up and down, canopy, landing gear, brakes, and ignition. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and get the canopy down. So just by pressing 3, we should be able to do that. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do is let's get the throttle up. I don't know if there's any switches to go on. Okay, we have ignition switch there. Let's get that on. Get a little bit of throttle. Pressing 2 here. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to continue getting that throttle up. Let's get the brakes off. And let's get our throttle all the way up again. Let's see if we can actually get a takeoff here. And we just need to go, lastly, is get the thrust spoiler going so we can actually start moving. And there we go. Let's see if we can just take off here. Very easily, very quickly, and very agile. You guys can see that, and let's go get the landing gear away. Wow, that was quick. Okay, very interesting, very nice little plane. Very agile, very quick at the same time. Just overall, just really nice, guys. I can see this being one quite low popular plane, just for getting around very quickly. Said, just really nice. Let's see what the fuel consumption is, and how much fuel we actually have left. It seems like it probably would last quite a long time if you needed to do long distances, and I guess you could. Oh, I'm going to crash it. I know. Yep. Oh wait, hold on. It's still good. Oh, we're still good there. It seems like it would last quite a long time, and obviously you could land it in a very small space. But overall, yeah, nice little plane. Let's go ahead and start moving on to the next creation here. So moving on to the next creation of the episode, we have the XO360. This is done by a content creator called Nova. Now, I could be butchering that name. I do apologize if I am, but this is pretty much going to be a absolutely really small little beautiful yacht. Now, as he said in his description, this is meant to be performance, design, and durability in mind when he was creating this, or how he was recreating it too. The actual boat itself is a total length of 50 blocks, which is extremely small as in Stormworks standards, especially for how it looks. Now, apparently what he says, it's got 2 basic diesel engines, along with that 2 propellers, 4 tanks inside there, and it's got a full interior, which I'm really looking forward to actually having a look at. So that all said, let's get spawned in and let's get started and see what it's all about. So spawning this in, you can see he's actually gone ahead and just angled it right next to the dock area. As you guys know, I really appreciate that when people do that. Overall, really small. Looks amazing for the size of it, and I'm really surprised. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of features this actually has. But overall, as we can see here, it looks really good, guys, especially with all the paint blocks that he's gone ahead and used for the deckings and so on and so forth. But like, for example, look there, guys, you can see the engines underneath there. Spectacular, I have to admit. We have 2 push buttons, so we have rear connector. I'm guessing that is for that, yep. And then we also have the refueling, yes. And then let's go and get inside here. So the main cabin, you can see he's gone ahead and even used paint blocks all the way along there. Let's get that closed and get the light on there. Glass table, seating area. Amazing how much he's managed to fit in here, being so compact. Let's go ahead, go downstairs and see what we have down here. So we have some sleeping compartments here, just some more storage area, and I'm guessing this would be bath. Yep, it is indeed the bathroom. Once again, nice little detail, a lot of paint blocks everywhere. You know, guys, you know me, I love it when people go ahead and do all this detail in their creations. Seem to be having a little bit of problems getting up there. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and close that, and let's get into the actual seat. Now, if I'm correct, there's nothing else. There's no other areas. This is all there is. Let's get the front lights and the ACC on. We have a electrical connector there. I'm not too sure what that is used for. And then we have a starter, a throttle, reverse, and that's pretty much about it. Let's get the starter on. Let's get the throttle up. Okay, engine is on. We are going. Let's go and get the throttle up here by holding down 3. And that is it, guys. That easy. Speed is good. Obviously, for 2 small little engines here, this is doing really well. Oh, there seems to be, oh yeah, that front section. I don't know what is inside that front section, so let's go ahead and see if we can get there and check that out. But overall, guys, really nice little creation. Wonder if we can get to the front. Oops, I just fell off. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to end with that one there, guys. Really nice little boats. Let's go ahead and move on to the next creation. And moving on to the next creation of the episode, we have another one done by Rainer of Trinet. This one is going to be the Saga. Now, this is going to be a submarine designed for underwater work, according to his description. Has a whole bunch of obviously interior as always, along with that space for 5 sailors. Also has a couple other different interesting features that we're going to go ahead and check out. So as always, let's go ahead and spawn this in, see what it's all about. Now, moving on to the Saga and spawning in, you can see obviously in comparison to the last creation, this thing looks huge. Obviously, it's not, guys. It's not that big of a submarine. It's pretty much, I would say, personally, I think it's probably more or less the normal size. This has got water jets on there, which would be quite interesting to see how it's going to use that. Paint blocks everywhere, obviously Rainbow Research and Construction, as always we usually see. Now let's go ahead and jump on it and see what we can see. So it seems like we have some type of refueling thing over here and some more refueling there. We have some storage hatches. Okay, very nice, obviously for storing anything you want, whether it's cargo or loot or anything. We have a access hatch over there. In the front doesn't seem to be anything else, and then we have, what is this, top magnet? Okay, I guess that's there. We have another one to go into here, so let's go ahead, close this off. What do we have here? Warning, this area is not sealed. When the submarine dives, please evacuate this area. Okay, cool. So I guess this is just an open area that you can go ahead and do. We have some more areas in here. I guess this would be sealed then. And okay, this is a release pod escape hatch. Okay, so I'm guessing this breaks away from the actual main creation, and you can do that. Maybe we'll test that out later on. And then we have the actual main compartment area over here. Now, it seems like this is the main controls for the submarine. Let's go and see what else we have. Let's get the lights on. Bedroom, we also have, seems like some crew compartments. We have some more hatches to go down. We'll check that out just now. Storage compartment, I'm guessing, is for food. Let's go and see what is down here. Now, we've come down. To have some kind of passageway. Let's get the light on and let's see what we have behind all these doors. So washroom, okay. We have jail. Ooh, interesting. Bedroom, okay. So it just seems like a little more storage area down here. Nothing too special, but still obviously nice to see all that. Let's see if we can just get ourselves up here. There we go, and let's go ahead and get that door closed. Let's see what else we got. Some more cabin areas, things there. We've checked that out just yet. Seems like we have the engines over here. Let's move along. We have be careful by opening the rear door. Always check if there's no water inside. Okay. What do we have? This is SAS. Okay, so this must go to the hatch earlier, and then you can obviously go ahead. I like how he's done the little signs here, and you actually can read them. I think that is pretty cool, I have to admit. So let's go ahead and open that. Get in here. We have the main storage compartment. Okay, cool. So that seems to be most of the interior pretty much all done. Nice and compact, quite nice and neat. We have different engine things over there. We have inlights and inlights. Cool. Don't want those on just yet. Let's go ahead and what do we have here? Toggle autopilots and lights. We have autopilots. Cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's got a full autopilot in here, which is quite nice. Let's go ahead and jump into the main cabin seats here. So we have vertical engines, sorry. We also have starter generator, cabin lights, and lights. and engine throttle, and toggle control with lever. Okay, so let's get the end lights on. Let's get the generator on, cabin lights on. So I'm presuming the generator is obviously when you're on, obviously up on top, whereas when obviously you dive, you wouldn't be able to have the generator on, I'm guessing. I like how he's gone ahead and done those little rotating pods at the back. That is pretty cool, I have to admit. And yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get this going. So we got WS is forward, left and right is side slide. Okay, so you can actually turn like that, almost like drifting. You got 1 is full ballast, 2 clear barriers, and 3 searchlight. Where is the searchlight? Okay, it's there in the front. Cool. What else do we have? Left and right here. I'm guessing this is using the water jets, possibly. Doesn't seem to do anything at the moment. The left and right. Side slide, he said. Maybe it's when you're underneath the water, possibly. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and fill our ballast to see how long this takes. Now, we should have our ballast being filled here. Yes, it is. We also have vertical engines. One of those two. Maybe that activates the left and right thing. Doesn't seem like it. Let's turn the generator off. And let's get that back to 0 just in case. Okay. So you can see we are starting to dive now. Let's go ahead and see if we can just manually give it a little bit of thrust to go down, and see if it'll go down there. And then what we'll do is we'll also try and use that escape pod and see if that's gonna work or not. You can see we continue doing that. I think there is a way to toggle control with lever. Okay, is that going to let us do that? Yes, it is. So we don't have to hold down W anymore. We seem to have a couple propellers over there and hidden around the actual submarine itself. Now we are starting to dive. Continuing to dive. It does take a little bit of time, of course, as we usually see with the submarines, to actually get down and dive. See if we can just go ahead and use our controls once again, see if we can get it to go down a little bit quicker. You can see we are starting to go down now. But until those ballasts are full, I don't think we are going to stay down too long. Okay, you can see we are starting to climb a little bit. And let's go ahead and just keep on diving. Tanks are about half now. Okay. He says here, recommends both the tanks to be at 40,000 before it's actually stably done. I don't seem to think anything to actually automate on what level you want it to be on. See, we have a target for the autopilot, but not actually the depth control here, which is interesting. Usually we see depth controls here on these submarines, but that's not the fact. It's still a cool little submarine. What we're going to do is let's try and see if we can just dive a little bit deeper now. Seems like it doesn't want us. There we go. We are now in the passenger seat. Let's see if we can go ahead and release escape pod. Whoa, okay. That's pretty cool. So if you were to get stranded down at sea, you could just do that and your whole escape pods comes out. Pretty cool little creation, guys. You can see the submarine is still going. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Now, moving on to the last creation of the episode, we have the Europe. This is done by content creator Roy Rainbow Trinet. He seems to be actually hitting every single top 5 recently, which is quite impressive. Now, this is going to be his actual vessel, which is going to be a fishing vessel. It is possible, yes, he has gone ahead and created a special mission that actually goes ahead and creates a some type of fish that I've seen within the screenshots. However, we're just going to be checking out the boat itself, see how it handles. Apparently it does a top speed about 35 knots, can handle about all the waves that you can give it. Along with that, it also has a full interior, as we usually see with all his creations. So as always, let's go spawn and see what it's all about. So spawning this in, you can see he's gone ahead for some kind of type of like a catamaran design for this hull of this ship itself. Obviously this is the fishing area at the back, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how that all works out. Overall, you guys know his stuff. All the rainbow stuff looks really cool. Obviously it looks very realistic, which I really like. You guys know me. So let's go ahead, let's jump on this and see what it's all about. I'm just going to check out the underneath section of this first. Pretty simple as far as I can see. Just Nothing fancy, you just have some rudders, obviously some water jets down there, obviously giving us some thrust. Let's go ahead, jump onto the main actual back deck here. See, he's gone ahead and used some real wood pieces there. Very nice, very nice. Cool. So we have the whole fishing controls here. So as I said, I've seen in his screenshots that he has got like a fish that can be caught, which would be kind of interesting to see. But what we're going to do is we've got roll winch down. Okay, we also have roll winch up. We've got roll magnets, crane winch, crane, move roll, rolls and running the nets. What does this do? Okay, cool. So you can see there that then rolls that. Cool. Move roll. Okay, so you can actually move the whole roll back and forth. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and do that. I wonder if there's any controls for this actual thing to get it back, but I don't think so. But let's go and move that all the way out. Let's see if we can actually get this to come off the boat and go into the water here. I'm sure we will. These seem to be magnets. Okay, so we need to actually get rid of those. There we go. And now you can see, obviously, we have the fishing net in the water. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get that back in now and close that all off. And I think you can actually disable that and you can now leave. So now we've left the net in the water. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Stop, think and work. Let's go ahead and check out the interior of this vessel so far. So it seems like we have just some fishing things here. I wonder if there's any lights anywhere. There's that door, and then we have button for lights. Okay, cool. Area over here, pretty nice. What do we have in here? Seems like some kind of like cabin area for crew. More sleeping compartments, very nice. And I'm guessing it's the same on either side. Let's go check on this. Yeah, some more crew areas with some lockers and things like that. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and let's see where we can go from here. Firefighting equipment, cool. Is there a way to get upstairs? There is. Cool. We go to open the hatch here and let's get up into the next deck if I don't fall down. Okay, cool. So we're on the main deck here. We have, once again, stop, think and work. Boat seems to be moving to one side a little bit, possibly because I did the fishing thing at the back and messed everything up. Don't stay out in a storm. That's pretty cool. And then that's pretty much about it. I didn't see any hatches or anything. I'm just going to go down again, guys, and see if we can find any hatches for engine rooms or anything like that. It doesn't seem like there is anything here at the back. There's more controls over there. We have some fluid things, obviously, to refuel. Okay, interesting. Let's go ahead and just turn this roll off. So let's get that to 0. And let's get that to 0. That possibly could be what's actually turning us. But I like how he's gone ahead and done that. So let's go here now and see if we can just get into that hatch. And let's go up. And let's get that closed. And let's go into the main compartment area. Nice little beep there, just obviously letting us know the door's open. Little area there, we have some more controls here, and this I'm guessing is going to be for this here, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. Let's see. Winch up, winch down. Okay, yes it is. Okay, so that is for that back area, that little like crane there, and you can go ahead and move that. That's pretty cool. Nice. Okay, so what else do we have here? We seem to have a full autopilot system, as we usually do on these boats. And then lastly we have caution in case of a strong wind, stroke recommended not to push the motor to more than 50%. Okay, cool, understand. Work lights, stress lights, don't want the stress lights on just yet. Inside light, yes. We want the emergency breaker, no. Other one we do want on, yes. Engine control, switch control mode, we have start generator, engine throttle, reverse. So let's get the generator on. Is it going to turn off? It is, very nice. And let's get the engine control on, and let's get a full up to. Very nice little boat. Seems to be very fast and also really nice and stable. I'm guessing it's a little bit heavier on the front because we've obviously got rid of our netting at the back. That's fine. Yeah, just overall really nice. Seems like we have some nice little cool detailing on the top of the deck. I'm just surprised there's no engine room unless I've missed it, but I don't think I did, to be fair. Yeah, as you can see, there's no engine room, it's just the hollow interior. Okay, fair enough. You don't have to have it. The ship looks good enough as it is already. It seems to have gone and used some wing pieces here just to make that nice slope in the middle of this catamaran design here. Also, the smokestacks are pretty cool on the sides. So, as always, guys, the last thing we need to do is finish this episode off is go ahead and just test it with a little bit of wind, of course, and also let's go and get a tsunami going. You know, no real boat test is done without doing those two things. Now, it seems to be handling really stably at the moment. The waves are pretty good. Obviously, remember he did say that we need to do 50% in strong winds, but its boat seems to be doing really well. It handles these waves without a problem. I think that's just due to being so actually deep. Okay, yeah, let's now go and just get any control because we are flipping. Let's get it back. Oh no, it didn't like wind at all. Let's see, is it going to turn over or have we broken it this time? Okay, we've broken it, and that's my fault, guys. Obviously, he did say that we need to not use this at more than 50% in high winds, but personally, I'm thinking it has something to do with the wing blocks that he's gone ahead and used in the front. That could possibly be it, is the wing caught it and obviously tried to flip it. And obviously we had too much power coming out of the back. But yeah, overall, we'll see what happens with it now. Obviously with Tsunami, what it does to it. You can see the generator engine seems to be wanting to start and stop, but obviously it can't because it's in the water and it's killing that. So what we'll do is let's get the generator engines off. The moment we aren't drowning, we are perfectly fine because it seems like we are completely sealed in here, which is quite nice. And let's see, the tsunami is probably going to hit us any second now, and let's see what it does to us. But yeah, you can see it's got some more, obviously, little control panels at the bottom here, control fins, obviously to try and keep it stable. But the wind, I think, was just a little bit too much for it. So here comes the tsunami. It's a signal tsunami's coming for anyone else. Let's put our distress lights on also. Beautiful, nice little lights there on the mast itself. And here we go. What's going to happen? Are we going to just sink? Or is it going to actually turn it upright? Okay, seems to be okay at the moment. Let's turn the fog on off. And there we go, we are completely back upright. So top trick, if anyone ever does get capsized, maybe just try and spawn a tsunami in and you'll be fine. Let's see if we can get this engine started up again and see if we can get everything working. Okay, there we go, seems to be fine. You can see it does want to lift now, even though I do have it on 50%, it does want to lift itself up out of water a little bit. Once again, it could be these rudders at the bottom, it could be the wind, it could be these wing pieces, we don't know. Overall, nice little creation. Let's go ahead and I think, yeah, let's go ahead and finish over there. So I think we'll go ahead and end today's video over there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it somewhat entertaining and informative as always, and we'll see you in the next one.